Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. We journey deep into the world of British coinage to uncover the tale of a small yet extraordinary piece of history. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence from 1999. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary coin you'd find jingling in your pocket. But beneath that simple appearance lies a story that stretches across centuries, one that connects medieval heraldry, the modernization of the Royal Mint, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, and a collector's dream that very few ever get to hold in their hands. The story of the 1999 2-pence coin begins far earlier than 1999. To truly appreciate it, we must step back to the origins of the British decimal system. For centuries, Britain operated under the old pounds, shillings, pence system where calculations could be cumbersome. But in 1971, a major transformation reshaped British currency: decimalization. Coins were redesigned, sizes were altered, and values were adjusted to harmonize with a modern financial world. It was during this great transition that the 2-pence coin emerged with its signature design, the badge of the Prince of Wales, a symbol steeped in royal heritage. This emblem features the 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, accompanied by the iconic motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This symbol traces its roots to centuries of royal tradition, representing loyalty, lineage, and a connection to the British crown that stretches deep into history. By the time 1999 arrived, the 2-pence coin had already become a familiar sight across the United Kingdom. Copper coins rattled across counters, slipped into vending machines, stacked in jars atop kitchen shelves, and traveled through millions of hands daily. But every once in a while, among the countless coins minted, a special batch appears, coins that stand out not because of dramatic design changes, but because of subtle minting details, variations, or production quirks that collectors eagerly pursue. The 1999 2-pence is one such coin. Although produced in large quantities, certain rare variations and high-grade specimens have turned an otherwise ordinary coin into one of the most fascinating collector's items of its era. The obverse of the coin displays the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait marked a new era in British coinage. Unlike earlier portraits, which tended to present the Queen with a softer, more youthful appearance, the Rank Broadley portrait embraced realism. The Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with fine details capturing the maturity and dignity of her long reign. Collectors appreciated this candid representation, and it quickly became one of the most recognized portraits in modern British coinage. For the 1999 2-pence, this portrait was still fresh, only in its second year of widespread circulation, making the coin an early example of this now iconic effigy. The reverse, of course, continues the traditional design of the badge of the Prince of Wales. The feathers curve outward gracefully, each strand individually sculpted with precision. The coronet beneath them shines in miniature detail, and the flowing ribbon displays the motto with crisp clarity. This design remained consistent for decades, giving collectors a long timeline of coins to study, compare, and cherish. But for 1999 specifically, the coin serves as a bridge between older minting techniques and the coming modernization that would later alter British coinage after 2008. To understand the rarity and significance of the 1999 2-pence coin, we must turn our attention toward the Royal Mint, the institution responsible for producing British currency for over 1,000 years. By the late 1990s, the Mint was undergoing upgrades, experimenting with new machinery, and refining its quality control systems. These improvements were essential for the next decade's redesigned coinage. But during this transitional phase, small variations, like slight die polishing differences, edge smoothness variations, or even minor planchet anomalies, created coins that today attract strong collector interest. It is not always the dramatic errors that captivate collectors. Sometimes, it is the coins produced during years of transition, years where the Mint was refining its technologies and adjusting its processes. These coins serve as snapshots of the Mint's evolution, and the 1999 2p falls beautifully into that timeline. Another layer of intrigue lies in the fact that the 2p coin has always been a favorite among UK collectors, especially those building full decimal sets. Some years were minted in larger quantities, others in smaller ones, and some only appeared in annual sets rather than general circulation. The 1999 circulation strike is particularly interesting because pristine, high-grade examples are incredibly difficult to find today. Most coins from this year circulated heavily, meaning they acquired scratches, dullness, and wear within months. Only a handful survived in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, making them tremendously desirable among numismatists who understand the value of condition and rarity combined. As we move through the story of this coin, it's important to remember how everyday objects can become extraordinary over time. When the 1999 2p was first released, no one knew it would one day be the subject of deep collector fascination. Children used it to buy sweets, adults used it for parking meters, and tourists unknowingly carried them home in their pockets. Yet today, these same coins, once considered so ordinary, sit in protective capsules, stored in velvet-lined cases, admired under magnifying lenses by collectors who appreciate every tiny detail etched into their surfaces. Another fascinating aspect of the 1999 2p is the metal composition. During this period, the coin was still made from bronze, a mixture of copper, tin, and zinc. It wasn't until 1992 that many UK coins shifted to copper-plated steel to reduce production costs. However, the 2p remained bronze longer than many collectors realize, making the 1999 issue one of the final years retaining that warm copper glow. As time passes, bronze coins develop a unique patina, sometimes deepening in color, sometimes forming subtle patterns on the surface. Each coin ages differently, giving every piece its own personality. Some collectors adore this natural aging process, while others prefer the bright, newly minted appearance of coins kept untouched since their production. As the years moved forward, the design of the 2p coin would eventually change. After 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a new series featuring parts of the Royal Shield across different denominations. This redesign marked the end of the long-standing Prince of Wales design on circulating 2p coins. And that's where the 1999 coin gains another layer of significance. It belongs to the final decade of the classic design's life. For collectors who emphasize continuity, symbolism, and historical milestones, the 1999 dated piece becomes a vital link in the chain. The deeper we explore the story of the 1999 2p, the more we understand that its value does not come from rarity alone, but from context. Coins rise in value not only because of scarcity, but because they embody moments in history, political eras, technological changes, artistic shifts, and cultural transitions. Top 2. Today, we journey deep into the tale of one such coin, a piece that has grown more and more fascinating to collectors around the world, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p from the year 2006. At first glance, it may appear simple, common, and unassuming, like countless others you may have seen. But like many treasures that slip quietly through history, this coin hides a story so captivating that it has become one of the most sought-after modern British coins, and its secrets have elevated its value to a staggering figure that few would ever imagine. Picture the year 2006 in the United Kingdom. The nation was vibrant with life, buzzing with social change, technological development, and a renewed appreciation for its royal heritage. Queen Elizabeth II, already a global symbol of stability, duty, and continuity, was entering yet another chapter of her historic reign. The world watched as Britain entered the mid-2000s with fresh energy, yet the Royal Mint continued its centuries-old tradition of carefully producing coins that reflected the country's identity, values, and pride. Among them was a small copper-plated steel piece, only 25.9 millimeters across, weighing just 7.12 grams, carrying the denomination of 2p. A humble coin in the eyes of most, yet destined to become a miracle for the lucky collector who recognized its rarity. What makes a coin valuable? To the untrained eye, all coins look the same, circular pieces of metal, shiny at first, then worn from pockets and purses. But to collectors, coins carry the breath of history. Each piece reflects political changes, design transformations, minting techniques, and sometimes even errors that occur during the striking process. These small variations can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. The 2006 2p belongs to this category. Its value does not lie in precious metal but in the combination of its design, its minting characteristics, and the rarity that collectors discovered only years later. To truly appreciate the 2006 coin, one must begin with its design. On the obverse stands the familiar, elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, this time featuring the fourth definitive effigy created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait was known for its realistic representation of the Queen, capturing her maturity and dignity in a way earlier designs had not. The effigy became widely recognized and respected across the Commonwealth, and during its years of circulation, it appeared on billions of coins. Yet even in its familiarity, the portrait carries a sense of royal authority. The Queen's crown, her gaze, the fine detailing of her features, and the inscriptions surrounding her image all work together to create a timeless representation of British heritage. It is a portrait that reminds people not only of leadership but also of the continuity that defines British identity. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales. 3 elegant ostrich feathers rise from a coronet, tied with a ribbon inscribed with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design tells a story that goes back centuries, representing the heir to the British throne and symbolizing duty, honor, and service. Below the emblem are the words 2p, positioned above the year 2006. The coin's reverse design had been used since decimalization in 1971, making it a long-standing and much-loved symbol of British coinage. But despite its long use, each year's strike carries its own uniqueness, influenced by changes in minting techniques, metal composition, and circulation demand. By 2006, the Royal Mint had transitioned from bronze alloy to copper-plated steel for most of its lower denomination coins. This change, implemented in 1992, made production more cost-effective while maintaining the traditional color and appearance that the public recognized. But even with modern minting technology, not every coin is struck equally. Subtle differences, minor anomalies, and unexpected variations can occur, especially during years of high production. And these small variations, often unnoticed by the public, can dramatically influence collector interest decades later. For the 2006 2p, the first spark of collector excitement came when individuals began noticing slight inconsistencies between different examples of the coin. Some had a slightly off-center strike, with details pushed marginally toward one edge. Others showed faint doubling in parts of the lettering, particularly in 2p or the date. A few possessed minor variations in the color of the copper plating, likely due to differences in the heating or cooling process during production. While these variations may seem insignificant to numismatists, they represent windows into the minting process, tiny fingerprints that make certain pieces stand apart from the millions of coins produced that year. As collectors began examining the 2006 2p more closely, they discovered something even more intriguing. Despite being a relatively modern coin, high-grade uncirculated or mint condition examples were surprisingly scarce. Unlike commemorative coins, which are often purchased by collectors and stored safely, regular circulation coins like the 2006 2p are handled, pocketed, spent, and worn. This means that truly pristine examples are hard to find, and over time, the number of surviving pieces in top condition shrinks dramatically. Collectors began documenting how difficult it was to locate specimens that had not suffered scratches, dents, discoloration, or other signs of wear. The revelation transformed the coin from a common pocket piece into a numismatic puzzle. The story does not end there. Even more interesting is the fact that certain mintage figures for the mid-2000s became points of curiosity. While the Royal Mint reported circulation numbers, the distribution and survival rates of some coins were unusually low. For the 2006 2p, speculation grew among experts that a portion of the coins may have been held back, melted, or simply not released widely. Whether this happened or not remains a matter of debate, but the effect is clear. collectors began hunting for the coin with increased determination, and the value started rising steadily. Imagine the excitement of finding a coin you might have once thrown into a drawer without thinking, only to later discover that it holds the potential to change your life. That is the magic of numismatics. Coins like the 2006 2p remind us that history hides in plain sight. They encourage us to look closely, to appreciate the artistry, to study the details, and to learn the stories that lie beneath the surface. For many collectors, tracking down a flawless example of this coin became a mission, one that often involved combing through rolls of change, searching online marketplaces, and attending coin fairs in hopes of finding that perfect gem. Over time, the mythos surrounding the 2006 2p grew stronger. Collectors from across the United Kingdom and around the world began sharing stories of their hunts, their discoveries, and their disappointments. Each tale added to the charm of the coin. Some found pieces in old jars stored in attics. Others stumbled across them in inherited collections. A few lucky individuals acquired coins that had been stored away by chance and preserved in remarkably pristine condition. Every new discovery fueled the fascination further. By the time numismatic experts began formally evaluating the 2006 2p, its desirability had become undeniable. Coins graded at the highest levels, those nearing perfection with no visible marks, scratches, or discoloration, began commanding incredible attention. Auction houses reported intense bidding wars as collectors, investors, and enthusiasts competed to secure the finest examples. The prices climbed higher and higher, surpassing expectations and breaking records for modern British copper-plated steel coins. Top 3. We journey into the heart of the United Kingdom at the turn of the millennium, a time when old traditions met the promise of a new era, and we unravel the remarkable and unexpected story behind the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin of 2001. Although millions of these coins were produced, only a handful have captured the imagination and attention of collectors worldwide. And by the end of our story, you'll discover why one rare variation of this very coin holds a stunning value of $23 million. Our story begins with the dawn of the 21st century. The year 2001 was a moment of transition for the world. Technology was advancing rapidly, communication was transforming, and global culture was shifting at a speed never seen before. Yet, amidst all this change, the Royal Mint continued its long-standing tradition of crafting coins that would circulate in the hands of millions. Coins that would buy small treats, pay for daily commutes, pass silently between friends, strangers, and generations. Among these everyday coins was the humble 2p piece, often overlooked yet deeply rooted in British history. To understand the importance of the 2001 2p coin, we must revisit the origins of the decimalization process. Back in 1971, the United Kingdom transitioned from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a more modern decimal currency. The 2p coin became an essential part of this new currency structure. It featured the words, New Pence, from 1971 to 1981, a marking that would later create one of the most famous numismatic rarities. But by 1982, the inscription changed from New Pence to 2p, reflecting the country's adaptation to the decimal system. By the time 2001 arrived, this design had become a familiar sight to everyone across the country. The 2001 2p coin features the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, whose initials IRB appear subtly beneath the royal profile. This portrait showcases a mature, dignified monarch, calm, resolute, and iconic. Rank Broadley's design emphasized realism, giving collectors a more direct and intimate visual connection to the Queen. The portrait reflects her strength and stability, something that millions admired during a time of rapid global change. On the reverse side of the coin is the badge of the Prince of Wales. 3 regal ostrich plumes emerge gracefully from a single coronet, accompanied by a small ribbon bearing the timeless German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem, first granted in the 14th century, carries centuries of tradition, pride, and royal symbolism. Surrounding this artistic crest is the denomination, 2p. The design is simple yet noble, elegant without being extravagant, a perfect representation of British minimalism and history intertwined. The 2001 mintage was significant, with millions of coins circulating throughout the UK. However, as coin collectors know well, it isn't always the number of coins produced that determines rarity. Instead, it is the imperfections, the anomalies, the minting quirks, and sometimes the historical moments that surround their production. For the 2001 2p, the magic lies in a combination of factors: quality, condition, and a few extremely rare errors. And it is these rare specimens that have sparked intense excitement among collectors, bringing tremendous value to an otherwise ordinary coin. Among the rarest variations that emerged from the 2001 production are coins struck with off-center misalignments, double strike errors, and a few astonishing pieces minted on the wrong metal planchets, accidents that transform everyday coins into priceless treasures. In some extremely rare cases, a 2001 2p was mistakenly struck on a 1p bronze blank, causing weight discrepancies and creating a unique color tone that is immediately noticeable under careful observation. A handful of others exhibit rotational misalignment, where the front and reverse sides of the coin are twisted out of their normal alignment. These aren't just mistakes, they are stories, moments of unpredictability caught forever in metal. The Royal Mint is known for high precision and quality control, which is why such errors are exceedingly rare. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity is the heart of value. It fuels desire, competition, and sometimes even obsession. Collectors from across the globe hunt tirelessly for these unusual pieces, hoping to uncover the next great treasure hiding in plain sight. The early 2000s were also a fascinating time for coin circulation. Many coins from this era show heavy wear due to the economic shift, increased cash transactions, and general circulation patterns. This makes finding a flawless, mint-state 2001 2p coin increasingly difficult. A small group of these coins emerged in pristine condition from long-forgotten mint sets or untouched rolls, pieces that somehow escaped the scratches, nicks, and dents of everyday life. These immaculate examples are now cherished by numismatists and are steadily climbing in value as time passes. But the real legends, the ones that cross into the realm of extraordinary value, are the era coins combined with near-perfect preservation. Imagine a coin struck incorrectly, already making it unique, yet also locked away immediately after minting, shielded from the decades of circulation that would normally wear it down. These are the coins that reach astonishing auction results. These are the coins that become the crown jewels of private collections. And in the case of the 2001 2p, one such coin has become world-famous. As collectors began to study and catalog rare British decimal coins, a particular 2p coin from 2001 was discovered, one that defied all expectations. It was struck on a rare, incorrect metal blank, resulting in a weight difference and a subtle variation in color. So, the next time you hold a small coin in your hand, remember that every piece has a story. Some stories are ordinary, but some, like the story of the 2001 2p, are legendary. And right here on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we continue to bring those legends to life, one rare discovery at a time. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of valuable British coins, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to HD Ultra Rare Coins, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story hiding in the pocket of history.